Here with Frank Warren, just had the press conference for Billy Joe Saunders versus Chris Eubank Jr. and finally got them both in the same room. Were you surprised by that?
No, well, I was a bit, to be honest, yeah, after all the aggravation we had, but now they have and they showed up, so we're all very pleased with that.
Definitely. And I mean, surprising that Chris Eubank turned up, first of all, but were you even more surprised that he didn't turn up with his dad and any of his entourage?
Yeah, but it's all about, at the moment, it's all about, what do you call it, there's a few mind games going on. We've gone from got to have security there because we don't know problems to showing up on his own. So it's just a game, isn't it? That's what it is.
No, definitely. And in terms of the rest of the fight week, what can we expect leading up to this magnificent card?
Well, we've got a couple of public workouts. We've got Billy Joe, I think it's tomorrow. We've got Derek on Wednesday. Then we've got the head-to-head press conferences on Thursday, last press conference, and then the weigh-in on Friday. And then Saturday night, we've got another Guy Fawkes night, another fireworks night, explosions and some great fights.
Definitely. And I mean, this is going to be a great fight. You've got Tyson Fury, Derek Chisora. I mean, what's the fight you're looking forward to most on the card on Saturday night?
Do you know, there's a case for all of them. For me, the Billy Joe and Chris Eubanks Jr. is a very intriguing, I think it'd be a good fight, but it's an intriguing fight because we don't know how good Chris Eubanks Jr. is. I don't know how good Billy Joe is, so we don't know how good he is, and obviously we're going to find out. The heavyweight fight, I think, is going to be a real barnstormer. And what's so good about both the fights is that it's not just even about the fights; it's about the winner of that fight, of both of them, becomes the mandatory for the WBO heavyweight and middleweight titles. So there's a lot going on there. Frankie Gavin and Bradley Skeet, it's a cracking fight. Liam Walsh and Gary Sykes, and I could keep going down the card. Yeah. It's just a really good fight card.
No, definitely. A lot at stake for the two main events.
Sorry?
A lot at stake for the two main events.
A lot of them at stake for them, yeah. I mean, this is the chance for all of them to get into the big time and obviously get into big money fights.
No, definitely. And there was a show last week, or on Saturday at Liverpool. You worked with both of the guys in the past. What did you make of that show and the fact that it was on pay-per-view?
Well, it was never a pay-per-view fight. It was always a good domestic duster. It wasn't as good as the first fight, that's for sure, and I think everybody agreed with that. Nathan, I thought he won the first 4 or 5 rounds, but I don't think, and then I thought that Bellew came on and at the end of the day won the fight, but it weren't the most exciting fight in the world, was it? I mean, I don't think anybody would. I think everybody agreed with that, and that's not having an axe to grind, but it was hardly pay-per-view fair. That's for sure. Well, on the night paying 20 quid for that, I think is an outrage.
And what did you make? Nathan afterwards said there's potential for a third fight at the Millennium Stadium. What do you think there could be a third fight?
What is it for? It's just for those two. What is it for? What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. It wasn't for a world title. When the first fight round, there were 2 undefeated fighters, and it was for a world title. Second time round, they both had bad stoppages, bad stoppages, and it was what it was. I mean, good luck to them. They got themselves a few quid. That's what they're in boxing for. But please don't try and peddle it and tell us it's something it isn't. It's not at that level, and it is not pay-per-view level at all.
Definitely. And I mean, the same night, Box Nation was showing the Manny Pacquiao fight over from China, and this is on Box Nation.
You talk about Box Nation, you could have had Hopkins against Kovalev, had the Manny Pacquiao fight, the show we've got coming up on Saturday, the Crawford fight the week after for 12 quid. They charge you 20 quid for one show on buying it on the night. Great value for money. It is great value for money. Manny Pacquiao, I thought, never got out of first gear. I think Algieri did the best he could. He's a brave kid and whatever, but he just couldn't cope with it. And I don't think he didn't have the power to hurt Manny Pacquiao, where he just basically was walking through.
No, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Frank, and hopefully speak to you later on in the week.
Will do.
Cheers, Frank.